So let's try to wrap this up. That is the portion about developing DFDs based on use cases. This slide shows how you can map a fragment of a DFD to a particular use case, right? So here's the use case name, record an offer, talks about the actor, the description, the trigger, summary inputs, source, outputs, destination. Well, if you look at this carefully, you can see that you can map the data flows and the entity that is interacting, the entities, I should say, that are interacting, salesperson, customer, owner, manager, directly to this partially dressed, almost dressed, kind of fully dressed use case up here. Okay, so the point is, DFDs, once you get the use cases in place, it's relatively easy to transform them into data flow diagrams. So you build a DFD fragment from one use case, and then you can merge these fragment diagrams into the level 0 diagram like you see here. So again, once you have the use cases in place, you can map them directly into DFDs. And then once you have the level 0 diagrams in place, you develop a level 1 diagram for every separate process that's on the level 0 diagram, as you see here. Generally, a system may or may not have level 2 diagrams, but you can proceed to that level of complexity, where you develop level 2 diagrams for any process on a level 1 diagram that appears busy or complex. So this is almost a science, the way you go about fleshing out the DFDs, and they flow directly from use cases. So once you have the use case detail in place, it's relatively easy to flesh out an entire set of data flow diagrams from the use cases. Last but not least, there's a quality checklist. You need to evaluate your DFDs for quality, and there generally are two different types of errors. Syntax errors, which refer to whether the DFD follows the rules of the DFD language, and then so-called semantics errors, that is, the meaning of the DFDs and whether they accurately describe the business processes being modeled. Okay, so the top ones here are within DFD. These are syntactical errors, and you must follow this. It maps into the mechanical process of where data flows start and end and so forth. And it's very clear. It tells you exactly what you cannot do, can and cannot do. And then across DFDs, from the context diagram to the decomposition and balance, and then finally semantics, which just means, are you capturing the business processes correctly? So this is a very useful, handy-dandy check sheet to make sure that your DFDs are compliant and are of high quality. And furthermore, Visible Analyst and other case tools will do the syntactical checking for you automatically. So that even makes it easier. These are common DFD errors. Syntax errors where you violate drawing rules. For example, every data flow must connect at one end of or the other to a process. Every process must have at least one inflow and one outflow, correct. Then semantic errors in the meanings of the diagrams. To quality check semantics errors, you need to walk through them with the users to make sure you've captured all of the conceptual requirements properly. If you follow this procedure, you'll ensure that you have high quality DFDs.